Well, hi there everyone. My name's Eeshi-Ra Hart and welcome to Upgrade Your Human OS with Sound. OS meaning operating system for those of you who may not be familiar with that. I'm super excited about this webinar because I really love to share my passion for healing with sound, and I've got a few things to share with you. So let's get started. If you look at the bottom of the screen, you'll see a great quote from Nikola Tesla. If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. And that's what we're going to explore, the secrets of the universe. So let's get started. So what is the problem on the planet today? Well, I'm sure you're all aware that we have a crisis on our hands in relation to the earth and what is going on with the pollution of the rivers, the pollution of our environment through plastic, and the pollution of the air, and pollution in so many ways that are getting very challenging for the ecosystem. Lots of species getting extinct, and basically humanity is doing a lot of things that don't work, and they're actually making us sick too. And you know, you've only got to see that cancer is 1 and 2. People are getting a lot of colds and flus, which is actually a call for the body to detox, because we are living a very unhealthy lifestyle. We're eating a lot of meat, wheat, dairy, sugar, alcohol, caffeine, and these all impact the delicate infrastructure of the body. And this also affects us through the use of our technology and also through the different personal care products that we have. So we need to start changing what we're doing. We've got urgent choices to be made because how we're living isn't sustainable, and the American Indians and many indigenous tribes across the planet have been sending us messages, have been holding talks, have been connecting with us to give us guidance, to give us warnings, to give us, now is the time to change, now is the time, because the more we wait, the more we create damage. And if we damage our own backyard, pretty soon it will not be able to sustain us, and we'll basically be killing ourselves off. And a lot of people, I feel, aren't really talking about this post 2012. They kind of feel like business as usual. Well, we have to be doing more than ever so that we can ensure that we have a future here on this planet. And this picture on the right is from an ancient Cree prophecy which says only after the last tree has been cut down, only after the last river has been poisoned, only after the last fish has been caught, only then will you find that money cannot be eaten. Well, I would like to think that we'll wake up long before that, and I feel that this was sent to us as a warning, as an opportunity to stop, think what we're doing. Each choice we make, are we buying stuff in plastic? Are we putting chemicals down the sink? Are we living sustainably? If we actually lived with all of our packaging for a month and we didn't throw it out, if you think of places like India and Bali and places where they don't have rubbish collection, you would see perhaps that those kind of choices are really creating an impact and perhaps might inspire you to make different choices. And we, the human body, we're like a plant. You know, we need to be properly fed and watered. And a lot of our diet at the moment isn't producing the right nutrition, the right energy, the right enzymes. We're eating food which is processed, which is being cooked and cooked and cooked, or it's frozen, or it's got toxic additives in it. And the body's looking for nutrition, it's looking for energy, it's looking for water. And if we don't give it that, then pretty much like the plant in the picture, it's going to start dying. And for a lot of people, they are getting sick because we haven't been educated properly, and that really needs to happen more and more. So we get inspired to choose different lifestyles. And this is why I believe raw food has become very popular, not just because it's useful to the body to energize, but also because it actually does help lift our mood, and it does bring us vital nutrition that often gets killed when it's being cooked. This is a great quote from Eckhart Tolle. The insanity of the collective egoic mind, amplified by science and technology, is rapidly taking our species to the brink of disaster. A significant portion of the Earth's population will soon recognize, if they haven't already done so, that humanity is now faced with a stark choice: evolve or die. And whilst this is quite a strong statement, I absolutely believe that we have to make different choices and not to rest on our laurels, because if we were faced with what our washing powder was doing as it exits through the pipe into our beautiful garden with roses, we might see that it was dying, and therefore that would help us make the connection to our actions and how they impact us every day we're choosing. So this is really a wake-up call, and the more that we do that, the more we will actually be able to live a more natural life. And whilst this all sounds very doom and gloom, it is actually a very, very exciting time of change. The dream is collapsing. So what we've been building as a species on this planet, with all these high-rise, with all these cities and everything, whilst a lot of that development has been very, very useful for our species, the way it's been done, because it isn't sustainable, has got to change, has got to collapse in order to come to a better way of living. And we need to do what works, because otherwise we won't survive. So you may be familiar with the term energy flows where attention goes. And this is very true. If we have challenges in our life, if we have problems, if we directly focus in on them, then we can actually get guidance. We can get wisdom from our body. It can speak to us. It can help us tune in. But have you in your life, have you found an effective way of dealing with them? And what about friends you know, or perhaps clients you know? Do they have easy way of finding solutions to what you need in your life? And if you think about the average person, you may go down the street and you'll ask a friend, "How are you doing?" And maybe the stock reply will be, "I'm fine," or "I'm not bad." But actually, what's really going on is they're struggling. And if you think about most of our life and our lifestyles, we are struggling with a crazy busy schedule that we've created. If you're someone who's pretty busy, unless you live in a mountain top and you're meditating in a cave every day, there is a real challenge with that. And we may think we're fine, but actually our health and our energy levels aren't what you want them to be. So how do we know what is going to be the key? What is going to help us give that guidance, give that ability to tune in with the body, so that we can actually make a change and do what is really going to work for our body and give us all of that beautiful focus, all that beautiful energy, so you can sleep well, so you feel uplifted every day, you don't feel depressed, you can handle stress every day because you're looking after yourself. And instead of saying "I'm fine," it's a very beautiful thing to actually say to your friend, "You know what? I'm not doing so great today," because often that actually helps your friend go, "Oh, well, I'm really glad you said that, because I'm not feeling great too." And you know that saying, "A trouble shared is a trouble halved." Well, it's so good to share with your friend that you're not feeling great, and that really helps the both of you perhaps find a solution together. And it also helps you develop a deeper connection with your friend because they suddenly go, oh, you're not so sorted. Well, that helps me feel safer because I'm not that sorted either. And we were both putting on a brave face. So I really invite you to share in that way, because it does really help everyone drop their guard and stop trying to be so perfect. And if you think of the human body as a computer, we are a bit like a computer. And if you take the average computer problem where the computer is completely on lockdown, it's completely fried, and the IT guy comes to you and he says, man, your system is really fried, and the only thing that's really going to sort this out is a complete reboot of your entire system. Because what's actually going on, it's really smoking. All of the computer technology, all the circuit boards inside are frying up, and it's making it really hard for that technology to operate at its best, which is a bit like us. If we're smoking, then our lungs aren't getting the oxygen they need, and then that has a knock-on effect to all of our body processes. And then, of course, the system starts running slow. And if you think of us in our life, we're all trying to keep up with that push, push, rush, rush, keep going. And we get on the coffee because we're just pushing our bodies and we're not listening to the body saying, actually, I need to take a break. Actually, I need to get some sleep. Actually, I'm not doing well and I really need to stop. But because of our boss and because we're worried about maybe losing our job, we keep on pushing it. And the coffee, as you know, it pushes the adrenals. This is really challenging for our body, especially if you're a daily coffee drinker. It can really be challenging, and it also dehydrates the body. So it's very hard for the body to really trust you on a deeper level. And the hard drive is maybe getting overloaded. We get more data, more applications, more input. And this then creates the body to have too much input. And so the capacity of the body to feel healthy, the capacity of that computer to work really well for you is definitely compromised. And the best thing it can do is have a defrag, which in the case of the lady in the picture, she could go on a cleanse, she could go on a fast, and certainly stop eating that fresh clean cake. It looks gorgeous, but then of course the knock-on impact to the body is super challenging, which then compromises every part of your body. And if you've got a computer which has got virus, it's affecting your performance. And the same is true of our bodies. When we eat food which is toxic for the body, or it's really not got any energy in it, or it's not the right nutrition, or it's got additives, this is going to, over time, this is going to make the body sick. And it's going to make you miserable because you're not getting what you need. If you're not getting the right protein, for example, then the body doesn't produce the right brain chemicals. And that means you actually crave certain foods which you're actually allergic to. And it also means that you have certain addictions and behavioral change which could be avoided. So for me, I love to eat healthy, organic food, which is, for a large part, pretty raw, maybe 60-70%, and that's giving me a lot of beautiful energy every day, and therefore I don't get sick. I don't wind up with colds and flus like my other friends do. So knowing that you have ways of choosing differently, ways of choosing food which will give you the right nutrition, which will help you feel great every day, then you know that viruses and sickness can actually be a thing of the past. I do believe it's something which is actually, for the most part, with the exception of things like malaria or dysentery, where there's parasites involved, it can be avoided, which is a great thing to know. And For many of you, you may well be aware of the impact of technology that we use. So that's your computers, your cell phones, your Wi-Fi, your smart meters, and Wi-Fi peripherals. All these things are very damaging for the body because they really affect the delicate bioelectrics of the body and all the cell processes the body needs. And primarily, if we look at this picture, we're talking about the brain. And unfortunately, there's a lot of kids now who want the latest tech. You've got this peer pressure at school. Check out A Subtle Addiction, which is a very important book written about teenagers and the use of mobile phones. And this shows the impact of cell phone radiation into the skull of a 5-year-old versus a 10-year-old and an adult. Well, with kids who haven't had their cranial bones fused, which is before 21, and yet how many kids do we know who are walking around with cell phones, or even parents giving the mobile phones to their kids to game on? Is it in airplane mode? Probably not. But look at how it affects a 5-year-old. It's going almost all the way through to the other side of the head if they're using it for talking on. Even a quick call to daddy, better choice, put it on speakerphone. This would be far safer for the body. And I have a massive blog post on my website which you can check out, Wi-Fi, a thalidomide in the making, which is done by UK radiation expert Barry Trower from September 2013. And it's a very important subject to be aware of, not to get into fear about it, but just simply to get informed and to know that by making specific choices, different choices to what you might be using now, you'll find that that will actually very much benefit your life. For example, there was a conference that I went to in Bali back last year, and there was a client of one of the presenters who was complaining about her period stopping and the fact that she wasn't sleeping well, and his instant intuition was to ask her about her technology. And he said, "Oh, do you turn off your mobile phone at night?" And she said no. And he said, "Well, where do you have it when you go to sleep?" "Oh, it's on my bed, just in case someone calls." And he said, "Oh, and what about your laptop, or, do you have an iPad?" And she said, "Oh, sure, that's on my bed too." Neither of them were turned off, and neither of them were disconnected from the Wi-Fi, and the Wi-Fi wasn't turned off. Within 2 months of her changing her habits with her lifestyle, her period started to come back and she started to sleep really well. So if we know those choices can actually really affect our sleeping patterns and our lifestyle and indeed our full physical health, then it's a great, useful tip to know. So if we are treating the body unkindly, we're eating the wrong food, we're using all this technology, we're pushing our bodies, we are not giving it what it needs to really function well, then it's no wonder that our system will keep crashing. It will keep telling us, I can't keep going on like this. And eventually, of course, that will create cancer, and that is actually a reversible condition because we did in fact create it because of our lifestyle choices. So a bit like a computer with that little sad Mac face, we can reverse it. But what is the answer to all of that? So if your system is at lockdown, is at failure, the only thing, like I said with the IT guy, that's going to sort it out is a reboot. And that way, your body can get back online and start making different choices to get what it really needs. So it's time to restore, recover, and upgrade our OS to a far healthier program. And if you see this picture, which I absolutely love, the picture of the business person lying in a field of grass. Can it really be that simple? Well, in one way it can. By getting back to the earth, we're going to really help our bodies unwind and start discharging the stresses of a Western lifestyle. So what's your body software? Well, if we look at the structure of the bones in the physical hand, you will see that there is this measure. And if you look at the red in comparison to the yellow, there's actually a difference between those of 1.618, which is a code, and it's a blueprint which is found in all of our DNA as well. And this is a code that is also expressed in nature. And if you look to the right and you look at the nautilus shell, this is also using the codes of nature, and you'll probably recognize it as having this amazing spiral structure. That is how nature grows. It's not random at all. It's perfectly calculated. And this is found all the way through nature and, in fact, the universe as well. And it's called the phi ratio, or 1.618. And if you look on the left, you're looking at a golden mean rectangle, which is also based on the numbers of the Fibonacci, which I'm just going to cover. And to the right, you'll see this beautiful fern, which is starting to unfurl its first leaves, and quite beautifully has a similar structure working in a spiral. Galileo said, "The book of nature is written in mathematics." And what a wise man he is, because whilst that seems a crazy idea, because if we look out of our window and we look out at nature, we may look at the different trees around us and the flowers and different animals perhaps, and see that it's actually pretty random. But if we dig a little bit deeper, we'll actually find that the whole structure of nature is based on maths. And part of this structure is called the Fibonacci sequence. So this is Fibonacci, who was famous from the 12th century, and he studied nature and he looked at the reproduction cycles of rabbits, and he looked at the reproduction of plants and the growth cycles of plants, how leaves come out when they are first popping out of the soil, and how flowers are, and how all of these seem to carry a code. And if you look here, you've got 0, so from the nothing comes the 1, and then what you're doing is adding the 0 and the 1 together, which produces 1, and then 1 and 1 added together become the 2. And this is very beautifully described by Jane from janemathemagics.com. That's mathematics but with a G, as in mathemagical, as opposed to mathematical language. And he describes the 0 as the past and the 1 as the present. So the past plus the present equals the future. And the same would be true of 1 and 1 creates 2. And so you go up, then the 1 and the 2 create the 3, 2, 3 added together creates the 5, and so on. And this goes on into infinity. And it's an amazing sequence of numbers which has massive amount of patterns in it once you start digging a little bit deeper, which is how it communicates with the work that I'm doing. And this is actually why the Mona Lisa painting was so famous, or in fact is still famous today. Da Vinci was a genius. He was actually a grandmaster mason. And what he was doing with this picture was leaving us signs, was leaving us hints of what to look at. Why was Mona Lisa so important? If you look at the rectangle that has been overlaid onto this image, you will see that it is exactly the golden mean rectangle. And this is why she was so famous, because he was leaving this code for us to look at, to imbue, to understand. And actually, if you talk to any artist friend of yours, if they don't get the proportions right when they're doing a picture, when they're doing something which is figurative like this, so they're painting a person or they're drawing you, for example, if they don't get the proportion between your lower arm and your upper arm correct, then it's just going to look like a bad sketch. And interestingly, when we look at that ourselves and we go, well, yeah, that's not a good piece of art, really. Why do we know that? Perhaps it's because we are already that code. and we intrinsically know what we're looking at, and we know that it's not the same code, it's not using that same proportion. And indeed, you know, architects use it. You're looking at the Parthenon here in Greece, and Plato has a great quote here as well: the most binding of all mathematical relations and key to the physics of the cosmos is the golden mean, or the phi ratio, or golden ratio. It has many different names. The golden cut is another one. And if we use this, then it's producing a very harmonic structure. Not only is it aesthetically pleasing, but it's sending a code of harmony to us. So it's pretty important that we have structures using this, and you'll find that a lot of architects still continue to use it today, and artists simply can't work without it. And this is actually the phi symbol. This is in fact the real Da Vinci Code. So if you were looking at that movie, The Da Vinci Code, and wondering what it was all about and felt like it was missing something, yes, it absolutely was. This is the real Da Vinci Code. And if you see this instead of just a circle with a line through it, and you take it 3D, what do you get? Well, you actually get a torus. And the torus, if for those of you who may know about sacred geometry, this is one of the most efficient structures in the universe. This is the structure of many, many things that exist in our world, and you can find it in the human body, like the eye. It's the structure of the human body. Let's have a look. It's the energy field of all life. And what you're looking at here is a beautiful picture by Alex Gray, and the pranic energy field surrounding the human body is in fact a torus. And if you look at us from the perspective of the mouth to the anus, this is also a torus, or like an apple chopped in half, or like a donut. All has the same structure. And our planet too. It also has this same electromagnetic field around it. And in fact, also in the whole solar system, the galaxy and the universe, they all operate using this toroidal field. And you can research torus. Nassim Haramein has a lot of work on this. So, what if you could give your body this new software via a new kind of Wi-Fi? But actually, it's probably one of the oldest Wi-Fis in the book. It's just like a radio, and you'd be tuning it into a better station with really cool tunes. Because the truth is, we are a very complex bioelectrical circuit. Our brain works through electrics. We have all this beautiful chemical messaging going throughout the body. We have all this cell messaging between the nutrients and the oxygen that we bring in through our daily eating habits and our breathing cycles. And if we are using the right things, we can have full health and energy, and we'll be right on track, we'll be super in tune. But if we don't have that, then it makes it really hard for us. So what we really need to do is we need to reboot, reset and optimize. Because if we're not doing that, how on earth can we live the beautiful life that we're intended for? How can we have maximum health? And if you think about it, most of us, if you don't have your health, then your life is very different. You can't spend time with your family. You maybe don't have such a long time on the planet. And you just can't operate at your best. You can't do the things you really want to do. You may be limited in the amount of money you can earn. So for me, my vital thing, my first choice in my life every day is what I'm putting in my body, what I'm surrounding myself with in my environment, and what I'm putting on my body. So if we optimize all of that, then we can achieve our peak potential. And I love this picture because nature will always find a way to help us get back to our roots. It's always sending us messages. It's always trying to guide us if we've got the ears and the eyes to see and hear. And I want to ask you a question right now. Who would we be without our old programs and all the challenges that we have living this crazy busy Western lifestyle? Who would we be without our fear? Who would we be without our stress? How would it be if we had a whole society with no disease at all? And how would we be if we were fully in tune and we had no disconnection between our body, what we're feeling, what we need to do, how we need to sit, our breathing, everything that we need to do to be completely tuning in on everything that we need to live a beautiful life? Who would we be? Think of all the friends you have in your life who are maybe challenged with sickness, who are maybe challenged with crazy job that they're in, and they're doing it because of the money. What's it worth at the end of the day? Health is vital. And more than that, it's spiritual and emotional health as well. It makes you miserable when you do things for money. And there are things we can do. So I would like to introduce to you Homo Luminous OS. Now, if you're interested to check out more, Homo Luminous is actually a term that's been coined by Dr. Alberto Veloido, who is an anthropologist, and his work basically describes the awakening of humanity, talking about moving from Homo sapiens to Homo luminous, which is a birthing or awakening of the light body. So moving from a carbon-based life form to a silicon-based life form, so an activating of the full crystalline structure of the body, and shifting from one of being very dense to one of being far lighter, which I feel, which is why raw food is very popular and important for us right now, even though eating it 100% isn't a best choice either. It's all about moderation. So what's a major key then to activate the light body? What is a key to help us open up this door to our full potential? Massive opportunity for us. Well, I'm sure you guessed it. To learn and tune in, for me, to what the body really needs. And this is a beautiful image by Ben Jansen. And this is a beautiful image which shows that one of the key frequencies I work with, and it's a very beautifully documented image by him, Ben Jansen, so you might like to check out his work. But not just any sound. What about a sound that directs change on all levels, that is actually tapping in to the microcosm of your body, which is actually dealing at a fractal level, which is actually working with the laws of nature, which is actually speaking to your body so completely? Because I'm sure you can feel the difference when you've had healing sound versus damaging sound. Maybe you've walked down the street and you've had that honk from the police car. The police car siren is perfectly designed to have a very uncomfortable interval, so it catches your attention and you want to maybe move away from it and let it pass or whatever, or stop what you're doing. So it's not about any sound, it's about finding the right sound. And this is really key because there are a lot of sound healers out there working with sounds which maybe aren't the best choices. So what has all this got to do with my work? Well, in 2006, I was sitting with my ex-partner at the time, Jason O'Hara, and we were looking at a symbol that he had on his computer. And I got very excited because my intuition was really directing me to find the codes that I work with in this symbol. And 5 minutes later, I found them. I was super excited. And after finding them, my ex-partner, Jason, he put out this book called The Blueprint of Creation. And the reason this was really important was because he took these number codes and from it he created a geometry. And what he then did was he took this geometry that you see on the left and he overlaid it on an electron microscope picture of platinum. And what he found was that the structure was hitting all the major key nodes of platinum. And this comes back to the idea that we may like to think that the reality that we live in and nature and everything that's here in our world is pretty random. But actually, what this picture is showing is that actually everything's very organized. And if you're familiar with sacred geometry, you'll know that that's the case. And this is really showing that at an atomic structure level, you've got sacred geometry going on. So this was really exciting for me because it actually helped get the word out there about these codes. And you can actually find his book on Amazon, The Blueprint of Creation, as a Kindle ebook if you'd like to research that further. Because the thing is, the solfeggio and what we actually call the zobe, which is where the solfeggio comes from, this is actually the mathematical blueprint or software of the universe, or the phi ratio, which I call the Da Vinci Code in sonic form. So it's an amazing tool to give back to the body, because then it helps strip out everything which is not in a place of alignment, not in a place of health, not in a place of full connection with source, so that your body feels very connected to the earth, you feel very connected to your body, and as a result, you then feel connected to everything. And if you want to dig a little bit deeper with this work, you can check out Dr. Peter Plichter's book, which also came out at the same time as Healing Codes for the Biological Apocalypse, which was when solfeggio first came onto the scene in about 96, 97. And this book is written by him, and he's interestingly from Dusseldorf, and he's originally a chemist and a physicist, and he's also the pioneer of silicon rocket fuel. And this book was pretty revolutionary at the time because it was showing that a creator exists. It was showing that there is a pattern throughout the universe, throughout nature, and it's very, very interesting that maths and science are finally catching up with what a lot of other people have known about for a long time. And so this is catching up with a lot of viewpoints held by different people who have known about this forever. So the philosophists and the scientists are coming back together because the truth is they were actually originally on the same team, and then they split off because one of them thought they knew better, but now they're coming back together. So it's great. It's a great time in history or herstory when we finally start piecing all the pieces of the puzzle together. And what this book showed was a certain symbol. And what's very interesting, in one of my DVDs, I start to share about a certain sacred symbol that actually appears in pretty much every culture on the planet. And it's the basis of all life in the universe. And it's like, well, if all these different cultures are using the same symbol, why are they using it? It's because they have a deep understanding and know that everything's connected. Everything is based on a pattern. Everything is based on natural law. It has a rhythm. It has cycles. And the ancients knew about this. You can find the same structure in the planetary bodies around our Earth, and in the different ways they cycle through. There are many, many books on this subject. So they're all based on this sacred maths code. And this directly speaks to the human energy field. And I believe it's activating our light body because of the codes that are built within it. It's helped tuning us in on our spirituality. It's helping tune us into our physical body and the phi ratio that's present in the body. It's also tapping into the atomic structure and the DNA And it also helps speak to the brain as well. So why sound? Why is that important? And why now? Well, the beauty of sound is it vibrates through every cell to help harmonize us. And through sound, you can actually get more in tune. And when you start to get more in tune, you can start to feel more. The frequencies I work with, they really help open up the sensitivity of the body. And if we're opening up sensitivity, then this helps us listen to our bodies more instead of going for the analgesic when we get a pain in our head because we've got we haven't been drinking water. We know we actually have to head for the water rather than actually going to have the painkiller, because the painkiller will just silence the pain. The body's speaking to us. And if we are more in tune with our bodies, then we're going to be more connected to our environment, and so we're more connected with the earth. This means we can tune into our peak potential because we'll be getting energized, we'll be feeling great, we won't be challenged by our technology because we'll be grounding and we'll be discharging the bioaccumulation of technology in our body. And this means we'll be able to fully allow our spirituality to be present in our body, because if we've got all these other distractions, we've got all these other scramblings of our genetic code through genetically modified food and different ways in which our radio channel, if you like, is not able to receive all of our divine energy, then it makes it easy to imagine why we're not able to embody our divine self. And that's why I feel sound is so important, because it can directly transmit important divine information to our body, to our brain, so that we can actually feel connected to ourselves. We're connected to our hearts, so we feel more loving with ourselves, more loving with others, and we also feel more connected to Source. Because if I say to you, we are one, it's not enough, is it? It's a nice thought, but it's not really enough. But if we know we are one on a permanent basis, because our bodies are having a permanent experience of oneness, because there's nothing in the way that's stopping that. There's no food that's unhealthy that's in the way. There's no technology that's in the way. There's nothing that is stopping us having that connection. And if we are moving from a place of disconnection and dis-ease and fear, then we're moving to a place of full connection, full love. And basically, I feel that's our awakening process that we are in now. And that's why I'm passionate about sound, because it is a great tool that we have available to us. And it can very instantly work for us. And let's talk briefly about the musical scale. What came first, the piano or the universe? There are a lot of sound healers out there using piano-based frequencies, piano-based crystal bowls, saying that C vibrates in the base chakra and D vibrates in the second chakra and so on. But what came first? We know the universe has been around a lot longer than pianos, so why would I be tuning my body to something which has only been recently created? Why would I be tuning my body to an instrument that doesn't even tune me to the planetary bodies around our Earth? It makes no sense to give my body a code which actually isn't helping my body. And what's really interesting about that is you can take Western tuning of piano scale music and you can put it into an oscilloscope, and it might fleetingly create some kind of sacred geometry, but it won't last for long. Whereas if you put these codes that I'm working with into an oscilloscope, not only does it create a geometry that is consistent, it also creates spin. If you create spin, you create life force. The DNA spins. It's all in nature. You can see it in all the spirals that we live around every day. This is how nature works. So whilst there's beautiful music out there, and 432 hertz tuning is a great choice if you're a musician, the codes are what is helping us at a deeper molecular level. And interestingly, Tesla, or indeed Edward Lee Skelnin, who worked with Tesla, He has a great quote: "If you only knew the magnificence of 3, 6, and 9, then you would have a key to the universe." And Nikola Tesla and Edward Leelskalnin, they knew all about the capacity of 3, 6, and 9 because they're found in 360 degrees. They're found in the codes of nature. And in fact, if you take any of the codes that we work with using these frequencies, they either add up to a 3, 6, or a 9. They are keys to the universe, and they're codes for us to help us get in tune. So, benefits to the brain. Well, how do they benefit the brain and the body? Well, what's beautiful about one of the key frequencies here, which has been researched by Princeton and also by UCLA, that's Princeton University, they actually take the brain into a theta brainwave state, which produces deep relaxation, a beautiful place of meditation, where it helps decrease stress, mental fatigue, promotes strong internal focus, and it actually enhances your memory, boosts your immune system and your sex drive, which is a great add-on. It's very good for super learning, transforming limiting beliefs, and also accessing your intuition, and there are many other benefits too. The frequency is also speaking to the hydrogen in the body, which, as we know, the body is about 70% water, so the frequencies are directly speaking to the body in that way. The frequencies also produce beta endorphins because they stimulate that release in the body, so it's very good for uplifting your mood. So if you're having a bad day, you're feeling stressed out, you're feeling depressed, you're feeling anxious, or you're worrying about things, it can instantly uplift your mood. And this is also very good for pain. There's research from Russia which also shows that it can be good for cell regeneration, which is very interesting because if we think about healing the body, it's very, very helpful if it has an extra tool. And I've actually posted on Facebook about that, my experience of using these frequencies with my own body. And this may also help schizophrenia, bipolar, ADHD, autism, multiple sclerosis, autoimmune disorders, spider veins, neurodegenerative disorders, AIDS, environmental toxicity, alcoholism, and strokes. And in fact, I've been getting some great results with clients, and my colleague in the States, Judy Lynn Cole, is also doing amazing work with clients there. And one of the key frequencies actually activates a part of the brain that relates to empathy, mood, and moderating social behavior. And if you think about the world that we're living in right now, we're living in quite a me culture where I'm all right, Jack, I'm not really bothered about you. And that, unfortunately, is very separatist kind of way of living, and whereas now we really need to be coming together, unifying, helping each other out. So if one of these frequencies can actually help activate empathy, it's a very, very useful tool right now, because that will really help us all feel for each other, tune into how each of us are feeling, be more loving, more compassionate, more gentle, more understanding. And that will help us all create a world of peace and a place of compassion and love and trust and beauty. And another key benefit of the frequencies is Dr. Ian Cook in 2008 from UCLA. He found that they're caused a temporary shifting from the left to right. So if you're more left-brained, this can be very beneficial because it brings you back into the right and helps rebalance out the hemispheres. So we have both parts of the brain functioning together because we need both. It's good to have both working for us. And you can research online what your left brain does versus what your right brain does. And in fact, if you put your hands up in the air right now, clasp your hands together, put your fingers together, and then put one thumb over the other and bring your thumbs down. If you have the left thumb over the right, this means you're more right brain than left brain. And if right thumb's over your left, then it means you're more left brain. So just something to know that you might find useful to check out. And that can change in different days depending on how you're feeling. So how far back were these codes used, and these frequencies used? Well, one of the key frequencies has been found to be present as a standing wave in old ceremonial chambers like Newgrange in Ireland and Wayland's Smithy in the UK, and also the Hypogeum in Malta. And this is research by Princeton University in 1994. So the ancients were tuning in on it. Why were they using it? Why were they amazingly creating these chambers? Well, it's my belief that if you're tuning in with a certain frequency that helps everything line up, everything connect from yourself, from your brain, from your body, from your consciousness to the oneness that is around me and within me, then I'm going to be tuning in and accessing all the wisdom I need. And you know, it's very much a shamanic state that you're accessing through doing this. And so you are fully in tune. So the ancients knew this, and they knew that by using sound, it was a very potent way of helping us tune in. Get in tune with nature, because nature has got it down. And if we tune in with nature, we'll always be all right. If we go against nature, then it's always going to produce challenges for us. Even if they're not immediate, they will come around, kick us back in the face if we're not careful. And interestingly, one of these key frequencies is actually used in the medical world today. A lot of people think that what I'm doing and the frequencies of the solfeggio are probably this kind of new fad, when in fact they've been used for a long time. And as I've just shown you, the ancients already knew about it and have been using it for millennia. So the Russians, of course, they're very, very tuned in on sound, and they've been using one of these key frequencies since 1949. Very, very good for insomnia. So if you have any clients, if you have any friends who are suffering from insomnia, very, very good for that. And since the 1940s, there are different therapies which have come out for treating depression, as I already mentioned, stress, anxiety, improving memory, creating positive change in your life, getting better mental clarity, learning disorders, improve self-esteem, pain relief, and overall well-being. And also since the 70s, there's been a therapy which has been created by a Scottish doctor for heroin addiction. And in fact, in 1983, Pete Townsend from the band The Who, which you may know of, he got off heroin using sound. Wow, how amazing is that? And a lot of people, you know, hopefully now will realize that there's way more to this. So I've been working with a guy called Jane, who I mentioned earlier, who's based in Australia, and he's a master of Vedic maths and indeed the phi ratio. He teaches widely with kids, helping them access massive ability to calculate very super complex calculations in their head in a split second. And he's helping kids basically remember that they have that capacity. And for adults too, we don't need a calculator. We can actually do all this multiplication in our heads. So check him out, janemathemagics.com. And to the right here, you'll see one of his books, The Art of Number, which talks about some of my work in it. And he was doing some research, and he basically has a fascination for numbers, and there is a massive connection between these numbers and the language of 24. So what you've got in front of you is 3 rows of 8. And he started off taking just the Fibonacci sequence. And here you can see you've got 1 in the first top left-hand column, and then next to it you've got another 1, which is the beginning of the Fibonacci. And so you've got 1 plus 1 equals 2. So the box to the right of that produces the 2, and then the 1 plus the 2 equals the 3, and so on. And when you get to 5 and 8, it produces a 13. But what you do is you numerically reduce the 1 and the 3, you add them together, and you reduce it to a single digit, so you get a 4. And then the 8 and the 4 produces a 12, so that then produces 1 and 2, and you add those together and you get a 3. And so you keep on doing that, going down along the lines, working in that horizontal way. So 4 and 3 produce a 7, 3 and 7 produce a 10, so that produces a 1 because you take off the 0. 7 and 1 produces an 8, 1 and 8 produces a 9, 8 and 9 is a 17, which reduces to an 8, 9 and 8 produces a 17, which also reduces to an 8. 8 and 8 produces 16, which reduces to a 7, and so on. And then what you're left with is you're left with 3 rows of numbers. And when you actually look at them vertically, you start producing 174, 111, 285, 396, 582, 888, and so on. And this is one of 3 different codes, and doesn't matter whatever number you start with. So even if you gave me a number like 10,234 plus 814, and those are numbers I just picked out of, picked them out of the air. If you reduce that to a single digit and you do exactly the same as I've done here, and you work it through, you will always come out with Zobe codes, and they'll either be 174 or 147, 285 or 258, etc., or they'll be multiples of 111. So in this case, you've got 111 and 888. So this is pretty exciting work, and it shows you that these codes are embedded in numbers and they're embedded in nature if we have the eyes to see. And you'll also be able to find more about this in Book of 5, Volume 5, which is also on Jane's website. So who of you has seen the movie Inception? Well, interestingly, this movie and the scriptwriters must have been picking up about 528, because they actually put this number on the door in the movie. I don't know if you've seen the movie, but interestingly, 528 is regarded as the key to the house of David, and it is widely regarded in the solfeggio world as a major key to the door of the heart, the door of awakening within all of us, so that we can break forth the light, we can activate the light within the body. So who's the house of David? Well, the house of David, don't get me wrong here, the house of David, I'm not really talking about the Bible, because I'm not really interested in religion, but I'm interested in a spiritual life. And I believe the house of David is describing the awakening of each person and their own spirituality. So it's the awakening of the divine self. So 528, the key to the awakening of humanity, the breaking forth of light. And if you also remember the movie, if you watched it, the first 3 digits of the code to unlock the safe. And what do you normally put in the safe? You put treasure in there. It was 528. And so it's there again, it's embedded in the movie. And the 528, it's unlocking that greatest treasure in us, which is our hearts. If we're in a place of love, we're in a place of loving connection with ourselves and with each other, then it's a beautiful way of stepping free of all of the ways in which our external reality may have tried to control us or limit us. And in the movie, if you remember, there was always this focus on getting back home, getting back home, getting back to the heart, perhaps. So a lot of people might have heard about 528 being called the miracle frequency, and I actually go into more depth about that in my latest DVD. And one of the amazing things that happened when I was teaching in Michigan in 2012, I was teaching at the Temple of Saqqara conference, and I was giving a presentation, and it was quite a long presentation because it was the Holy Grail and it was a lot of information to get through. And we're about 2 hours through the presentation, and I'm looking around and I'm seeing people starting to flag a little bit, and I'm going, okay, let's do something practical with sound. So I said to everyone, let's do something for our bodies, and we'll use 528 to take it into the body and choose a part of your body that you feel needs some healing, needs some attention, needs some love. And so everyone chose a part of their body and started taking their voice tuned to that frequency inside the body. And we only did it for about 10 or 15 minutes. So this was like an introductory taster, which is something I've been teaching for a while. And a few days later, I suddenly got this email from one of the participants, and he was super excited. He said, "Oh my God, you've changed my life. I can't believe it. It's amazing." And I said, "Why? What happened?" And he started to tell me about his experience of having had surgery about 45 years before, which had actually caused nerve damage in one of his hands. And he'd subsequently had 2 further injuries, which had caused more nerve damage. And as a result, over that time, it meant that he couldn't play his guitar, and he also couldn't use some of his workshop tools, and he's a laser cutter. So it'd been pretty upsetting for him because, he really loves to play his guitar, and it was pretty inconvenient as well because there's certain things he couldn't do in his workshop. But what he found was he was suddenly in his workshop, and for some reason, which, it wasn't apparent why at the time until maybe a minute later, he goes to pick up one of his tools and he moves it around in his hand, and he suddenly finds, wow, I've actually got the strength to hold that properly. And he then goes, well, wow, if I can hold that properly in the right amount of strength, then maybe I can actually play my guitar. He goes to pick up his guitar, he can play his guitar. And he's just like so excited and so happy to know that he can play his guitar again. In that moment, he starts looking at his hand and goes, wow, 3 days ago, I was at this conference in Michigan and I did that healing with Eeshi-Ra. And as he's gazing at his hand, he also noticed that all the scar tissue in his hand had gone. It had actually fully healed. So, and this had happened in about a 48-hour period. If you want to know more information on that, you can check out my website under 528 Hertz Voice Healing under Body Sonics. And this became the birthing of the Body Sonics protocol that I now teach, because our voices, imagine like the opera singer, and she tries to sing a note which is exactly hitting the resonant frequency of the glass. And if she gets it right, then bam, that glass will shatter. And the same is true of our voices. We may not be opera trained, but the truth is, with our loving intention, we can actually take our voice into the body and create healing, which is a super exciting thing. And I'll share a little bit more about that later. And how does sound really benefit the human body? What I've been really blessed to have is the support of a biophysicist called Dr. John Rogerson from the UK, who's created something called EFI Photon Pro. And EFI simply stands for Energy Field Imaging. And this is a biofield scanning system. So it's a way of showing what is going on in the physical body and the surrounding energy field. So it's a way of showing all the invisible spectrums of light that can't be seen from the naked eye, but when processed through this software, you can actually see where the stress points. And if you look at the picture above, what you're looking for is contrasting blues and reds, and this shows where there is tension or stress in the body or congestion. So if you look on the left side of his neck, and indeed throughout the neck, you'll see that there's quite a lot of dark red in that area, which shows that actually quite a lot of tension going on. And then in his shoulders, he's got quite a bit both sides, and he's a smoker, so he's also having a bit of congestion happening in the lungs, and he also eats meat, so you can start to see that there's quite a bit of congestion in the abdominal area. And he's an intellectual, so a lot of his energy is up in his head, and you can see that the energy in around the neck is actually shrunk. It's like the surrounding energy field shows it. It's like squeezing in a bit like a butterfly there. It's compressing in to indicate where the body's not fully energized. And then the same thing happens around the lungs area. There's this compression in the energy field. And then where there is the challenge with the undigested food in the colon area, there's this kind of quite a dull colouring around that area. And then if you look at the one below, you'll see, wow, a lot of opening happening in the third eye. You can see that the energy field has started to really open, bringing more light and more symmetry in the whole energy of the surrounding energy field and the body. And I did a bit of neck work, so you can also see that the neck has started to open out and clear a lot of that congestion. And it's also started to clear the tension held in the chest and clear out a little bit of the sluggishness in the belly. And overall, the energy system has really started to open out. And it was beautiful because the testimonial that I received from him after this was hugest thanks for the amazing sound therapy. I was made a new man, and using my energy field imaging equipment, the change was one of the most significant I've witnessed in 15 years. And what's interesting about that is he's been reviewing the effects of over 450 different therapies to see what can give the best results. And this was top of the list. So it's very, very wonderful to know that it actually works. And if you are someone who's interested in studying with sound and you're interested in maybe studying with me, I have a tuning fork course online. This is a great tool, and I am a rep for him, so if you're interested in getting this system, please let me know, because it's a way of showing your clients before and after, because they may be a bit unsure. It's something new, they haven't tried it before, but they can see clearly, you add on a little bit to the session, and you've got before and after, and they can take it home and talk to their friends and share it, because once you physically see it, it's a very different experience. And I find it a huge motivator with clients, because they really start then to make the connection between what's physically going on in the body and how sound can be an amazing tool. So other benefits that sound can give you, well, it can clear fear from the body, any stress, as we mentioned. It helps rebalance the chakras. It also rebalances the hemispheres of the brain. I found through doing many, many sessions with clients that it can clear miasms in the energy field, and it can also activate the third eye, as you can see here, or the pineal, which is another name for it. So yeah, if you're interested in using this as a tool as a sound healing practitioner, please email me, and you can find it under health tests on the website under the health section. And if you want to look for more pics, I've got it under my Solfeggio tuning forks page, which is under the sessions tab, and you can see different filters, because there are many filters. This is using the first filter in that system. And if you're interested in booking a biofield imaging session, if you are in Bali or Australia, I frequent between those two countries at the moment, then please drop me an email. And if you're interested in having a sound session, I can also offer those through Skype. I'm offering soul embodiment and body sonics right now through Skype, because healing our body through the power of our voice, it's just amazing to see what miracles have been happening with my clients. As I mentioned, my beautiful friend and colleague Judy Cole from Healing Partnerships in the USA, she's doing amazing work. She has a few different projects happening right now. The first is Ringing the Rivers project, which is dedicated to cleaning up the physical waters of the world, and also the rivers of life that run within us, and the rivers of love that flow between us. The Ring of the Rivers project is basically a project using crystals encoded with the frequencies, and they're placed in different water bodies throughout the planet. I've been working with her, helping that network globally for many years now. And she's also very, very knowledgeable about health, and she's very able to guide you on a health program, as am I. And she's very keen in helping us become more loving, so that we basically manifest peace on this planet and we all come together. She's been doing beautiful work with Dr. Wes Marin, who's a water scientist, and using experiments to show that the frequencies can actually kill off the algal imbalance, because they're in laboratory tests, they've taken the frequencies into the water and it's managed to kill the algae and reverse the acidity of the water. And this is actually what's been happening. You may have heard of the red tides. And what happens then is, once the algae is being killed because it's been growing out of control, robbing the water of light and depleting the oxygen, and so all the acidity has been changing, it then helps reverse all of that damage. And funding is now being received to develop this further and take it as a global solution for sorting out the problem in the oceans, which is so exciting. She's also the pioneer of something called the KISS laser. She's created 3 different lasers, the red and blue and green, and they're set at the exact nanometers of light, which help reset the circadian rhythm. And that's all about helping the body get back to its natural sleep cycle. We're not going to bed at sunset unless you're living out in nature or you're camping, perhaps. We're living under artificial lights. We're working on computers. We are challenging our bodies because of that. And so with this laser technology, she's really helping a lot of people get back more in tune. And she's also working with kids with autism, brain injury, that kind of thing. Beautiful work. And she's also created, if you look at the bottom picture, these are brain rebalancing labyrinths, and what you're actually looking at there are wooden plaques which you basically position them side by side, and they're mirror versions of each other, and you start with your finger in each center of the labyrinth and you trace your way through each one at the same time, so you're moving at the same speed, and you're running your finger through a groove on that wood, and there's a beautiful walnut here. And you're also at the same time listening to the frequencies through headphones, and you're watching laser. So it's a very holistic way of helping the brain rebalance and get completely optimized, and very, very effective. She also has 3 DVDs out, Strings and Magic, Mobius Wall, and Helix Music of the Spheres. And they are brilliant. They're all available on DVD from her website, which is healingpartnerships.info. And, you know, as you're journeying through the frequencies using this laser, you experience the moving geometry, which is directly speaking to the body and the brain. So it's beautiful work, and I'm very, very happy to know this woman. She's a beautiful gift for us right now on this planet. And my mentor, the beautiful Randy Masters, who got me on my path with sound back in 2001, he's very dedicated teaching the maths and sacred sounds of these frequencies, which are called the Zobe, which is where the solfeggio come from. He's also very knowledgeable about the pyramids of Egypt and the associated sacred geometry. If you'd like to check out his work, his websites are universalsong.net and sacredwindchimes.com. So would you like to get more in tune? Perhaps you felt a little bit inspired by this webinar. Well, you can actually get one of the CDs that I've created called the Unity Codes, which are acoustically recorded tuning forks using high quality mics, and you're going up through the vibrational pairs. There are 12 vibrational pairs, and they have gentle nature sounds in the background. There's 2 different versions. One is with beautiful ocean waves, which are very calming, or the 3D ambisonic versions, which I'll come on to, are with different nature sounds moving through. And of course, as I already mentioned, they are very helpful for relaxation and really helping the body de-stress on a daily basis. And I've created a 20-minute version, which is great if you live a busy lifestyle and you haven't got long in your day to actually tune in. And they have grounding frequencies at the end, which is very helpful, because it means you can then get back into your day fully focused, really clear energy, feeling energized, feeling ready to go. And as I mentioned before, very good for boosting your mood, good for depression. It helps unify the microcosm of you with the macrocosm, so it's tuning you into the whole. It's helping tune you into the planetary shift as well. It's helping you tune into your spiritual self. And it's helping your body remember that it's part of the earth and ultimately connected to everything. What's important to know about the frequencies when you do listen to them, that some of the frequency combinations are pathocytic, which means that it can clear certain molds, bacteria, viruses, or fungi. So it's very important that you actually drink water before and after. If you forget to, you will find that your body naturally gets a bit thirsty, hopefully, and that will be a sign to drink water, because this helps support any flushing out that your body's needing to do. And you can get these all as downloads from the website. Just look under products, and it's a personal session you can play over and over. I created this with the intention that it would as closely resemble a physical tuning fork session with me, so that you're getting them given to the body and the brain the best way to give you the maximum use of the frequencies. So yeah, if you feel inspired to get your own copy, then check out the Unity codes under products on my website, eeshi-Ra-Hart.net. Ambisonic sound, this is also a very interesting type of technology. If we think about how does the body naturally hear, is it in stereo? Well, we do have two ears, but the reality is that maybe we actually hear everywhere at once, because the body also feels through the skin. And you know, if you think about Evelyn Glennie, she's a percussionist who's deaf. She actually hears through her feet, which is how she's able to tune in. And what's interesting about this is 5.1 surround sound, you may have heard of 7.1 surround sound. These are just a human idea, but they haven't been focusing on how to give it to the body in a 360-degree sonic immersive environment, which is the best that is for the body. And this is technology which is pioneered by Michael Gerson, who's a mathematician and an expert in psychoacoustics, which is the technical term for sound healing. And he was a professor at Oxford University in the 70s. And he was also the pioneer of lossless compression, which is used in DVD audio today. And if you want to find out more about this, you can watch the US testimonial of the Unity codes on my YouTube, which is youtube.com/Eeshi-Ra-Hart. Or for more info, you can go to sound3d.com. That's SOUN3D.com. And we've actually created, with Ilan from Sound3D in the States, we've actually created ambi-stereo audio. So the Unity codes, you have these 3D ambisonic mixes, which are a way of taking the frequencies deeper into your body, because they're encouraging active listening. So instead of just zoning out, it encourages your mind to stay present, your brain to focus on how the sound's moving through the headphones, and this can help you access deeper states of relaxation and bliss in your body. And his work is also now starting to come into the corporate world, because he has something called the Cube, which is a relaxation suite, which is going to clients like Google and other financial and legal firms. So, because you know, they really need to find something which is very helpful for stress, because it's a major cause of absenteeism at work, and indeed disease and challenges in that world, and a massive loss of revenue. So very, very useful to have as a tool for transformation. So if you haven't checked out my website already, I do have other audios available. I've worked with different experts creating different guided audios. So you've got the Unity codes as the background, and then you've got a guided practice. So at the top we've got energetic massage on the left, which is giving your body a massage with the power of your mind. And they've actually found scientific research that shows that if you're doing sit-ups, imagining you're doing sit-ups, the body doesn't actually know the difference. So it's actually showing that the muscles are twitching and the body's still getting a workout. So the same is true of helping your body relax through the power of imagining that you are giving your body a massage. And breathing, this is a beautiful audio which has been produced by a Sydney doctor who's a doctor of breathing, Dr. Rosalba Courtney, and this is a guided practice to help you find your natural breathing rhythm. I've also worked with a hypnotherapist for stress relief. This is a beautiful audio designed very specifically for the businessman in mind, to be used during your lunch hour, so you can tune in, de-stress from your busy day, and then come back to your day fully raring to go and fully focused. And then the Unity Codes 3D ambisonic headphone mix that I've already mentioned. Fertility, this is a 4 audio series. This is working with the hypnobirthing expert, the same as pregnancy. And pregnancy is a 5 audio series, which also has one for labour, whether you're having a dry or a wet birth, and it's got beautiful dolphin sounds with it as well. And then self-pleasuring, this is a 2-part audio, and this is with sacred sexuality coach Robert Silber, and it's self-massage followed by a self-pleasuring audio, because the frequencies are really helping you tune in more deeply into your sensitivity and your body's bliss and your ecstasy, your natural ecstasy, so you can access that state through using this practice. And Sonic Sanctum, this is a repackaging of the Unity codes to be used specifically for space clearing. You can literally play that, and setting up for a workspace, for doing a workshop perhaps, or for doing a sound session, a great tool that can help literally reset the blueprint in your space so that you're ready to go with a clean energy, clear energy, and yeah, very helpful. And you can get all of these at my website, eeshi-Rahart.net, under products. And if it's a personal audio for yourself, well, you can just simply download the audio from the website, because they're all available as digital downloads, import into iTunes. And if you've got a phone, you can sync it with your phone, get your headphones on, drink some water before listening, lay back, close your eyes and just tune in and bliss out. And if you've got longer in your day, you can get the 40-minute one, which is great for meditation. And if you remember before, they're also very great for getting off to sleep. So are you curious perhaps to learn more? Well, my first DVD that came out, Activate Your Divine DNA Blueprint, this is available as a video download on my website, and it helps give lots of backgrounds to the frequencies, and it also goes a little bit into the oscilloscope work of Judy Cole, and it talks about how they're very helpful to help us unify and rebalance the body, and how they can harmonize us mentally and emotionally and awaken us spiritually. And it talks about 666, activating the light body, what this has got to do with Christ consciousness. And the price is actually now reduced from £24. It's now running at a far cheaper price, so check it out. And it comes with a free updated Exploding the Myths Globe Conference PDF, because I just gave that conference presentation in September last year. And so you'll be able to get that as an update on some of the information. The Solfeggio ebook to the right, this is also available as a PDF download if you're interested to get more of an introduction into the frequencies. And if you were buying the tuning forks, you would get this as a free download included with your purchase. And other DVDs that I have available, which are also available as video downloads, is God's Secret Sonic Formula, and there's also the King, Queen and the Landau one, the Holy Grail and Sound. So these are all available through the website. And this one is just about to come out. This is from my presentation in the States, and it's called Exploding the Myths to Find the Magic. Because actually there's a lot of misinformation and confusion on the internet about these frequencies, and I do feel it's a massive distraction away from their beauty and what they're here to teach us and help us get back to that deeper place of connection with ourselves. So this is a great video to find out the updated research, because there's lots of really interesting developments, and you can find that under products DVD on my website as well. I've also pioneered the world's first sound healing ringtone called the Unity Tone. And this is a ringtone that you can use for your average mobile that can import any MP3 files, and also for your iPhone, which is a .m4r, and you do that through iTunes. This is a beautiful collaboration that I had with Australian music producer Sean McVitie. His website's seanmcvitie.com, and me. And it's available as a free download, so if you'd like to have the frequencies with you as a beautiful energy clearer throughout your day, when your phone rings, it's clearing energy, it's energizing, it's helping rebalance, then you can find that under the sound healing section and look for it, called the Unity Tone. And are you perhaps really inspired by this and thinking, oh gosh, well, how can I start getting more in tune, but maybe you haven't got so much money? Well, maybe you'd like to learn for free and spread the good vibes. Well, I'm just about to set up an affiliate system on my website and share through that way of networking through you and other friends. It will be helping connect people to this amazing information. And I'm offering up to 42% commission. All you have to do is sign up via email with me, and I'll send you more information. This is going to be very soon available. And I'm super excited to get these frequencies to reach more and more people, to benefit more and more people, so people can have happiness, no stress, and can really start getting well, getting healthy and tuned in, and really having a beautiful life, or a more beautiful life, I see. So body sonics, well, as I mentioned, the beautiful miracles that happened for that participant in Michigan, this has now birthed body sonics, which I've been offering for a few years now. And this is how to heal your body with your voice. I'm offering personal mentoring through Skype. You can do this in your own time, in the comfort of your own home. And this is very good for healing old injuries, things like scar tissue, nerve damage, chronic pain, poor energy flow. And this means you can get really a lot healthier. You can get more energized, helps let go of the past, clearing blocks, clearing congestion and stressed areas in the body, helps you feel happier, more empowered. So it means you can think more clearly and create more joy, peace, and fulfillment in your life. So if that sounds of interest to you, you'll also get a free sound healing audio, which is the Unity codes. You get a 1-hour version of that. You will receive an 85-page training manual. And this will also include the 3 sound healing audio files. Basically, the idea is that you will receive everything you need in that package to get you up and running with all the keys and all the guidance to help you become your own healer. They're available in 3, 6, or 9 1-hour sessions. And the beauty of this is you can revisit the information anytime you want for just one price. So you can find all of this information under sessions and look for Body Sonics Healing. And if you sign up now, you can also get a special webinar discount inputting the discount code Heal My Body, and that's with no spaces. And if you do that, you'll find on the Body Sonics page there's packages of either 3, 6, or 9. So just literally input the discount code Heal My Body at the point of checkout and you'll receive your discount. So what's covered? Well, this is the front page of the manual, and what I cover in the manual is how I personally healed myself with sound. 3 main frequencies we'll be using, and an introduction into what the frequencies are, why they're so important for us. I also talk about how you very much need to clear the path for healing, because otherwise no change is going to happen. Why it's important to focus on your self-worth and look at what has happened to you during your life, and look at things around birth and your death urge, whether you are running that. Seeing the importance of choice, the importance of suspending your disbelief, because without changing your beliefs, nothing is possible. I remember when I started training as a rebirther, I was tagging onto all the affirmations, oh, this is a pile of crap and it's not going to work anyway. And so I wasn't getting a very positive result. So suspending our disbelief is absolutely key. Also things like forgiveness of self and others. This is vital to help shift the energy in our body. We also talk about the importance of intention, visualization, the out breath, really working with the breath to help energize the body and release the past. How you can harmonize your whole body using the voice. And don't worry, if you're a beginner with the voice, it's not about singing. This is about making noise, about making sound into your body. And even if you weren't able to tune in with the frequencies, your love with your sound into the body will be enough. This is also guiding you about activating the light body, how you can energize your drinking water and your food using the voice, how you can even clear the energy in a room that you might be working in, for example, or in your personal home, and how you can amplify all of this with the power of sacred symbol, how you can anchor the vibrational shift in your body using color, and why it's really important to drink water throughout that whole process.
Hi, my name's Chad. I've been doing some body sonic sessions with Eeshi-Ra, and very privileged to be able to share some of my feedback today. So it's really good. It's been a couple of months since we had our sessions, and we had group of 4 sessions right at the start. The first one was a vocal coaching session, which really interests me, pulled me in, and also the whole idea about body sonics, about tapping into the actual body's frequency, and I really resonated with that, so to speak. The vocal sessions, was a really good start. It felt that it actually dropped me sort of into my body. I felt that connection. A couple of months later, I'm singing so much more. It is absolutely amazing. The last couple of nights only, there's been even more of a shift in that. I've just really just sinking into it, and it's what I've always wanted it to feel like. So that is amazing. The sessions that followed, we worked on certain areas. One was my lower back. I fell through a roof when I was doing carpentry work in Australia, and caused some injury to my lower back there. And interesting session. We kind of really dropped into that, and again it was letting that part of my body speak, which I'd never done before, and let it say what it had to say almost. And 2 months later, I'm right now where we're filming is at the yoga barn. I'm halfway through yoga teacher training, something I wouldn't have done before that. So, whilst I can't say this is what absolutely caused it, all these shifts has happened since. So I'm really happy to be able to, share this with anyone else interested in this and willing to explore, drop into their body and see what it has to say. We also worked on wrists. Handstands were really hurting, and right now I just came out of doing a 3-hour session of inversions. Amazing. So that's pretty cool. And overall sense of well-being and happiness probably should be mentioned. That's a nice touch. Thank you.
So that gives you a little bit of an insight into how body sonics can be useful. And it was a lovely honour to work with Chad. So maybe watching all of this, you're suddenly going, wow, well, I want to learn tuning forks. Well, the beautiful news is I have now produced an online video training series which is available. And this series is very, very comprehensive. I've been working about 18 months on it. And you will be able to learn the deep science and esoterics behind these sound codes. You'll also learn a pineal activation, which is a way of bringing more light into the body so that the client really gets the best session they can. You'll also learn how to activate full pranic energy in the body and also for the DNA. You'll learn specific tuning fork practices for clearing energy blocks and a lot more. The package includes 13 training videos, which is over 2 hours of footage, and that includes showing you all the different techniques and also a full 1 hour session. You'll also get a 55-page training manual. And there are 3 pre-session audios using Violet Flame, using Earthing, and using the Flower of Life to help prepare your body for a session. And you can also use them to clear your energy field after. You will also receive a 20 and 40-minute copy of the Unity Code so you can start working with the frequencies yourself, to start feeling those benefits, start getting those vibrational shifts in your body so that you're preparing your body to become a tuning fork really yourself, so that when you're conveying and transmitting this divine information through the tuning forks, you're as maximized and clear as you can be. You'll also receive free 4 hours of presentations on 2 DVDs. That's the Activate DVD and the Holy Grail and Sound DVD. You'll also receive the free ebook, which I've written, and you will get a bonus Exploding the Mist presentation PDF, which is from the DVD that's just coming out soon, which updates some of the information and the research that I've been working with. You will also get a 1 hour Skype, which is a one-on-one with me, and that's a way of answering any questions or anything that you need to get clarity on. And during this time that you are studying all the videos, which you all get downloaded from the purchase at the website, you'll get full email support. So any questions you have, you can just let me know. And you also get 2 bonus videos, which is from a forthcoming sound healing documentary that I'm in. If you want to get the gold package, that was all the silver package. If you want to get the gold package, you get all of that. Plus you also get the practitioner set of 18 forks. And you'll also receive special gift of the Flower of Life treatment table cover, and also the fork table cover, which you can use as encoders for your tuning forks, encoders for your treatment table, which is pretty good to help the table and your tuning forks really maximized and as clear in their energy as they can be. And plus you will also get 2 hours of extra Skype one-on-one, which can be helpful if you've got more questions and you really want to go deeper with this information. You're free to ask me absolutely anything. Yeah, so if you'd like to sign up for that, you can just click on training and you'll find the tuning fork practitioner training there. And this is what Liana has to say after her experience with the forks.
Hi, my name is Liana. I live in Bali. I had recently a couple of sessions with Eeshi-Ra with tuning forks, and my problem is auto accident. It's happened 28 years ago, and I had a problem with my lower back and my neck, and I just asked her to help me, and it was amazing. The first session I was all scratching and shaving, and it was, my energy was running. It's like 1,000 ants on my skin. It was itching all my body, and then Eeshi-Ra said, don't worry, it's okay, it's normal, it's just firing the nervous system. And the second session, it was very relaxing and beautiful, and the other sessions were also very beautiful and very relaxing. But it was not just relaxing, it's really helped me with my injury, because now I don't have pain anymore in my leg and in my lower back. It's really amazing, it's really helped. It's a beautiful healing session. It's not just relaxing, it's not just the music, it's powerful medicine.
So if you've got clients that you feel you would love to help in that way, then maybe the tuning fork online course is for you. If you've got friends who you know who have pain, you can actually recommend the Unity codes to them, and they can actually apply the headphones directly to the part of the body where they're experiencing the pain. And I really want to help more people get access to the use of these frequencies on a daily basis. So what about other things? Well, do you want to make a shift in your life? You know, if you think about our crazy life that we live, you know, do you get stressed by the demands of your busy life with your boss perhaps, or your partner, or friends and family? Do you find it that you get upset by others' negativity, especially if they're trying to put it on you and make you the guilty one? Maybe you find it hard to get out of bed in the morning and you head for the coffee, which is always pushing your adrenals. Or do you find that you get up in your mind, up in your head a lot, and find it hard to focus, getting distracted on Facebook? Or maybe you find it hard to tune into how you feel and what your body needs. Or do you get anxious, depressed, or confused? Or maybe you find it hard to unwind at the end of the day, find time for you, or really find difficulty getting off to sleep. If you said yes to any of these, I've just created a course which has been created lovingly for you to help make the shift. This is a 6-week online video training course, and you'll be offered one new 10-minute practice each week that you can practice daily. And it's a combination of using the voice, using the breath, using physical movement, visualization, and active meditation. And this is a great way of helping you clear out stagnant energy, helping clear the past. It's very good for helping you stay happy in every moment and uplifted. You're grounded and focused in your body, helps you boost your energy levels, helps you feel more tuned in with everything in your life. And this is a beautiful way of creating more vitality, peace, and fulfillment on every level. The beauty of having it as an online training is it means you can do it in your own time at home or in nature if you download all the videos onto your phone, and you can do it completely at a time to suit you. You will also get, as part of the course, a free 1-hour copy of the Unity Codes, which is a great way of continuing to tune your body in. You'll get a copy of Body Truth, which is a great way of finding out your yes and your no and your maybe, which is a beautiful way of accessing your body wisdom. You'll also get a free ebook, which is my top tips of how to maximize your energy levels every day. You'll also receive a 30-day emotional freedom program, which is designed to bust through any kind of limiting beliefs or anything that's holding you back on any level. And in addition, you will also receive a bonus sound healing video, which you can use anywhere, anytime to help your energy shift if you're having a challenging day, and it can also be used to heal your body. And if you find 3 friends that you'd love to share this with, you actually get the whole course, that's the entire 6 weeks, absolutely free. So please just email me for details on that. And my email is info@eeshi-Ra-Hart.net. Or if you'd like to just sign up for the course yourself, you actually qualify for a webinar special, and you input the coupon code SHIFT HAPPENS at the point of checkout, and you will receive a special discount. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to stay in touch, please sign up to the newsletter on the website, and you'll also get a free sample sound healing audio download, which is the first part of the Unity Code, so you can test it out for yourself. I've also got the ebook available online. If you're interested to learn with me, I do have a YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Eeshi-Ra Hart. I've got many tutorials on that YouTube channel and through the website. I'm also available for workshops, presentations, sound and energy field imaging sessions. So if you do live in the Bali or Australia region, then give me a shout. And please network my work. I really want to make a difference with this work. I really believe it's a major key for humanity to help us get more in tune. And together, if we spread the word, we really do make a difference. And we're spreading the vibe, literally. So I wish you a beautiful, beautiful day or evening wherever you are. And this is brought to you by myself and unifying with sound. A major key for us right now. Thanks for watching.